Hi, hello, and welcome to the Western Isles Dungeons & Dragons stream. My name is Sam Sorensen. I am the Dungeon Master of this here Dungeons & Dragons stream. The Western Isles is a kind of experimental West Marches style D&D game, meaning that rather than have a reliable group of about a dozen players, or instead of having a reliable group, Don, you're throwing me off. Instead of having a reliable group of like a regular party, we have a group of about a dozen players where week to week they will send out, anywhere from 3 to 6 of them. This time it's 3, sometimes we have more, out on a mission of their own choosing with their own group. It's West Marches. Go look it up. Ben Robbins made it. It's great. Just a little up. Right now we're gonna go around in a circle. Do we need to do this? I feel like
let's just say what we're doing instead.
Okay, yeah. What are you guys doing?
Hi, I'm Kay, the Human Illusion Wizard, and today my associates and I are going to be taking a trip down memory lane to go have a little chit chat, a little sit down with the King of Teeth, who is the King of the Teeth, which is a gang of orcs that live in the south.
Gang, civilization, society. Society. Let's go with society.
Jake, you just keep saying synonyms.
Jake, we live in a society. But yeah, so the King of Teeth was a little distraught because we blew up a lot of people.
Friends and family.
But they had swords, so and they they're menacing. But we killed them all, and now we went to the Bone Fort to try and kill them too, and then we realized that
none of us, other people.
Yeah,
I think we're gonna realize
because we were the forward party that went in to get rid of the first encampment, which we did very successfully. It turns out their main camp is just like a daycare for baby orcs. No, that's an overstatement. It's just like a regular town. It's a city.
Lots of farmers. People just trying to live their best lives.
Yeah. And we really
MLM products. I'm living my best life here in the Bone Fort. Try the new Teeth brand makeup.
I said trying to. So.
Got it.
Tooth makeup? That's gross. But yeah, so we're going because the King of Teeth, requested an audience with Kay specifically, if I remember correctly. Mm-hmm. Because all of the people are afraid, and I am Baba Yaga. So we're gonna go give them a reason to be afraid.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm Sam. I play Wilavor the half-elf bard. I am gonna attempt to be the face of this mission.
And I am Jake. I play Grixie, the human fighter. And we'll see what happens.
This is a very humanocentric party.
Why do you think we're going to discuss terms of conquest?
Conquest.
Conquest.
That's what humans do.
We'll see.
Not just conquest.
I was really hoping that was going to be blue or something when you pulled it out.
Yeah. Like bear huggers, we had last time.
Bear huggers is in blue, sure. So right now you're still in the last chance in the taproom. Any last minute things you need to pick up?
I'm going to get 2 things.
Okay.
50 GP of teleportation materials.
Okay.
That's my number that I have on me, up to 2. So I have 100 GP of that for complete, and I want to grab a pair of fake shackles from Yai. We'll
just like steel shackles?
I'll buy them.
Okay. Okay. So you just buy a pair of steel handcuffs?
Do we? Okay, we have done already anymore. Do we how similar is steel to?
Remember name? What do you? What?
Oh, you have a pencil. Nice. Okay.
Jesus.
Sorry.
Demeranium is a little more reflective. It's sort of like a slightly less blue. Like steel tends to be more blue, more like iron, and Demeranium is a cleaner, sharper color. They don't look dissimilar, but they don't look like a blacksmith can certainly tell them apart.
Sounds good. How much are the regular shackles?
I don't know. Check the PHP. They might be under man clause instead of shackles.
Okay. All right. So those things taken care of. I think.
Yeah.
So are we taking the amulet to get out there, and then?
Go down.
Well, we'll need to get.
Oh.
Are we walking there?
Well, we should walk to the fort. I'm
Yeah.
saying afterward.
And then
Yes, and then teleport up to the bridge, or past the bridge, and then walk up to the mountain.
Yep.
We'll teleport back with the amulet, yeah.
or we're gonna need an amulet for the egg, and then us TP back.
Yeah, that's what I've got too.
Okay.
So we need to bring in. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, so
Yes.
you grab one of the lockets.
Yep.
Okay.
Lock it. That's what it is. All right. So is Bonefort on the map?
Yes.
I haven't,
It
I haven't
is.
done anything in that section.
It is on the
Just strap
Uh,
down.
map. It is essentially on the map. It's more or less due east of Lockback, which is on the
Okay.
shore.
Okay. Great.
See how
So-
reliable that is.
Yeah. Leaving at daybreak,
Okay.
we will walk to the shore and then follow the coast.
Okay.
Right down the weeds.
What
Okay.
would shackles be in PHP?
Check them. Look for manacles.
Probably not. I was like,
Yeah, probably.
Handcuffs.
2GB. Really?
Jesus.
And
It's
it
like
counts.
pretty complicated work to steal.
I mean,
It's
it's
got to have a locking mechanism and everything.
I guess so.
That's fair. I assume fast pace and
I'll direct us.
Okay.
okay.
So we're just
Just
going by the shore,
fast.
so we don't need it.
Okay. Who's you're navigating?
Yep.
And so that means who's on watch?
I guess I'll be on watch.
I'll look for food.
You're fast pace.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry, we don't need.
What time are we?
How to eat.
Sunrise is just after 8.
Ooh, chill.
Okay, blue dice is rain. Okay, so as you head out in true Western Isles fashion, it is sort of a muggy, overcast day. There's a constant kind of like low drizzle off and on as you leave your camp.
Nice and dreary.
Cool.
Yeah. There are pockets of blue sky here and there, but it's mostly just a dreary, overcast day.
Shitty.
Mhm.
It's shitty out.
Yep. Okay, so you head out of the tap room and you begin walking southwards at a fast pace, you said?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, so that means... Okay. So you walk for about an hour and a half or so down the coastline. It veers slowly to your right before you reach the mouth of the river, rushing out into the ocean.
So are we crossing and following? Or are we
Yeah.
just on the rock?
Or we follow river bridge or crossing.
We might as well just cross it.
Well, yeah, we're crossing it. So Zephyr will ferry us across. I
Okay.
change Zephyr back to Griffin
Okay.
right now.
So Zephyr ferries back and forth. You can see as you keep following the coastline to your right, there's a sort of a small clearing now with the beginnings of trees shooting up from it. Or no, it's not. I lied. There are no trees there. I'm getting my sites mixed up.
You're
there.
lucky you caught yourself because that would have had serious lore implications.
There are headstones scattered here and there, and sort of a larger like structure in the middle lane of stone. As you keep walking, you walk for another hour and a half or so. Is that right? Yeah, you walk for an hour and a half. Another 2 hours.
2.5, 3 hours total with this.
So right now you're at the 2.5 hour mark. 3.5 hour mark. Sorry. At this point, as you keep walking, you can see in the distance as the coast continues to veer to the right. There's some sort of island in the distance ahead of you with mountains rising on it. You also notice here the coastline grows a little rockier, a little more cliff. There are cliffs. There are stones that jut up out of the surf. There's small sort of like pockmarked cliffs and coves and underhangs along the coast here. As you keep walking for another hour, it's your 4.5 hour, or their 4th hour. The wind picks up a little bit, sort of a gentle breeze blowing, getting the rain in your face. What? You walk for another hour, it brings you to 5 hours, just along the coastline as it continues to veer to your right. You can see that island is now sort of straight to your left out on the coastline. Around your 6th hour, you walk by on the coastline and you can see there's the sort of half-fallen, half-burned, half-waterlogged and rotting remains of a wooden palisade with a camp inside. You can see there are a couple of gates that have been knocked open, and you can see carved on the gates, right in the center in each half, there is a symbol of a circle line through it that have been split open on the gates.
Wait, what?
What?
We didn't leave that there.
Is it just on the one gate?
I don't think we left.
You 100% did.
We did.
Somebody did.
Okay, so they can't. This is the 6.5 armor.
Yeah.
Just 6.
6.
That's super fucked up. I don't. Who did that? I just want to know who did that.
Sorry, I lied. It's just carved on the one door. But on one door there is a big
Oh.
circle line through it.
Was me?
Really?
Said it was.
It was or
It
wasn't?
was not.
Oh. Somebody
It wasn't me.
Sounds
Would I
surprising.
have even seen
definitely wasn't Cass.
Index skill storytelling.
Are there any of
Couldn't have been Kryn.
the lines around the last transfer note?
Sorry.
Or is there a symbol somewhere in the last transfer note?
I think it's inside. I don't think it's outside anywhere.
Didn't you carve one into the bar?
Yeah,
That's what I mean. So it's like,
inside the last.
Yeah,
ones.
yeah.
I don't think there's any.
I would know it at this point. I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah, you would definitely know what that symbol means.
Yeah.
You read the logs, you were here all summer, you know what that means.
Huh. If you don't know what that means, that's a symbol of our group. And we didn't leave it here, but we did destroy the place.
Did
Yep.
another group came back? I wonder if they went through here.
I mean, they probably just passed the camp.
Glancing in the camp briefly,
Mhm.
are the bodies still there?
There are kind of the remains of bodies scattered around. You
Okay.
can see rot.
Like,
Devour.
burial rites have not been performed. Okay.
You know, as you actually walk in, you can see there are crows that fly. They're chariot eaters. The waterlogged, rotting, bloated corpses of orcs, burned, scarred, ripped to pieces, electrocuted, drowned, scattered all over the place.
Hmm.
Interesting.
How high up are the marks? Just like head height? Or-
The symbol?
Yeah.
I mean, it's carved into like most of the door. It's big.
Oh, it's huge. What does it
Yeah.
look like it's carved with?
Something sharp.
Something big and sharp, I assume?
You could make a intelligence roll.
Straight intelligence?
Do you have proficiency in like woodworking skills or anything?
No. So straight intelligence?
Yeah.
15.
I mean, it looks like it's probably just like a dagger. Maybe it's like a claw, but it looks like like you point at your knife and you kind of look at
But
it like.
smaller, not like a great sword kind of.
I mean, it's been carved like in like multiple like lines, so like it's it's wider than just one knife stroke. Like someone worked at it for a little while.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like it looks like it's just knife marks.
Interesting. So that wasn't bad.
No, this definitely wasn't us.
Hmm.
I don't think.
Or at least not our first group.
Yeah, I mean, we can ask the other group to get back, I guess. But
Huh.
that's mildly concerning.
What door is this carved into?
You would know it's the eastern gates, the left eastern gate, I believe. One of the eastern gates. I'm almost positive it's the left.
Well, do we want to keep going, or
Yeah, you're another couple hours.
We've got 2 hours to travel up today.
I would like to.
I don't think that puts us anywhere super dangerous. We just cut over now.
Ahead of you, you can see along the coastline there are, well, to your left, sorry, you can see there's sort of a bay to your left out and across the far side you can see kind of some structural promontory. Straight ahead of you, the forests rise into hills.
So we're just going like.
We just cut straight east.
Just straight east.
Yeah.
I think so.
That's according to the map. That's what it is. I mean, we'll see it from afar.
Sure.
Not easy to miss.
So you can just go straight east?
Yep.
Which means we're gonna have to make navigation rolls this time.
It's what?
We're gonna have to make navigation
No.
rolls.
Nope.
No,
I can
no.
just bring us east.
Oh, because right. That's cool. I forgot that we had someone to do that.
So which way are you heading?
Do we want to go east or east by northeast?
Let's just go due east.
Okay.
I don't think it'll be easy to miss.
If it's a city, then
Yeah, we can course correct as we get closer.
Okay. So you walk straight east.
Yep.
Okay.
I don't think we'll get that far.
So you walk for another hour, and then another 2 hours into the hills. As you go up and down, you can hear two things of interest. One of them is that every once in a while,
This is the full 2 hours now.
yes, you can hear in the distance like a sudden sharp like shout or scream or howl, and then it cuts short. You can also hear occasionally clattering, which when you look around, you can see sometimes subtly, sometimes usually more obvious though, there are like ropes and string hanging from the trees, and in those there are like long series of like bones that have been hung that rattle and clatter together like a wind chime. As you walk deeper and deeper into the hills, they become more and more common. Where you end here at 8 o'clock, it's about 5 in the afternoon, 4 in the afternoon. Looking to your left, you can see that the terrain, not too far from you, maybe a half mile most, sort of sinks down, and the trees grow a little gnarled and a little more gray. You can see pockmarked lakes and rivers and waterways to your south.
Cool.
And we kept getting denser, or with the like strung up bones.
Yeah, it gets denser and denser as you're going. At this point, that you've reached the end of your 8 hours travel for today.
do you push it for 1 hour?
What?
Want to push it for 1 hour?
I was gonna say, should we climb in a tree?
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll climb a tree.
Okay, climbing a tree and staring around, Grixie, you can see, I can just tell you directions. To your northwards, you can see there's kind of, to your north, sort of north by northwest, you can see sort of like a rise in the mountains, and beneath it you can see numerous smoke columns rising. You can also see kind of, sort of a rough kind of semicircle around that. You can see there are kind of a line of hills, and you can see smoke columns rise from many of those as well, thin ones, narrow ones. To your south, you can also see in the distance, sort of nestled a little ways south by your southwest, roughly. You can see sort of right on the edge of this sort of marshy swamp terrain, there is a small stone tower that rises on a hillside. Burn that.
We cleaned up to it as well.
That's about all you can see that's new from here.
So where can I gauge how far away from the columns are?
The big group of them?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Make your intelligence based roll.
It's a
Intelligence-based perception.
It's a solid number.
9, you would guess mile or 2 or 3.
So definitely push it. If we want to get there soon.
Well, I don't want to get there tonight. Right?
I mean, how much? It depends on how quickly we want to get the egg.
Well, I mean,
I guess
frankly,
it doesn't really matter.
I'd like some time to talk it over, just amongst ourselves before we go in.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
We can do that now.
Yeah.
We can at least start talking now.
Sure. So, the obvious first question to ask is, what do we want from them?
I think we offer this. I think.
That's not
what
what I asked,
what
though.
do we have to offer them? Like
Well,
what?
There's two ways to approach it, right? There's
What haven't we done to them?
be
So
aggressive.
what can we do to
or
help?
Make amends. Personally, they're terrified of us.
And
So-
I think we should try to improve our relationships.
We could. It'll be the harder way to go about it, probably. We'll have to give up more.
Lots of things are hard.
Yeah, but I mean, they're orcs. I don't care about them in the first place.
Shouldn't you care about them a little?
Why?
Why would we care about any of the things? We care about the people in the last chance.
I do. Yeah.
And
100%.
how long did it take you to care about them?
2 weeks, probably. Couple weeks.
Probably. So give the orcs some time. Actually put the effort in first.
But they're orcs. They've attacked me before. As
Yeah,
of
but-
yet, no one the last chance to attack me.
But we've also attacked them.
It's true. But the very first time I came out of these isles, they almost killed me.
Has no one in the last chance attacked you?
Not yet. Not yet.
Or
Physically.
physically.
Surprising, right? The very first time I came out of these isles, they almost killed us in the night. Not the
Oh, I
best
remember
reading.
that.
Don't really like them since then. So I'm totally fine with getting peace. I don't want to give up things to gain that peace that are valuable to us.
Okay, you don't still have your. You two don't still have your bones, do you?
No, I pulled mine out once we heard Zarkar got over time.
Yeah.
I got the hole, so.
Yeah.
Rip attackment.
I am. While I agree with both of you, I think it's important that we work here to avoid future hostility, but I also don't think that they're in a position to demand anything really of us at this point.
I agree. I mean, I'll be happy to agree to acceptable demands by the way of, not killing them, not taking their lands, allowing them room to go back in that camp if they wanted to. Stuff like that is fine. But I don't want to pay amends for what we've already done. Basically. I don't think it's warranted. Or I just don't really care.
Here's the thing. I do think we should make amends with it. Because what we did there, where we just came from, was wrong.
What do you think we should offer them?
I mean, what they said it's mostly farming village. I don't know what help going through, seeing like whatever losses they cause. They need any help with food, just making sure they make it through fall.
They lost a military encampment. All of their crops are fine as far as I know. Their problem, my understanding at least, is that their problem right now is a psychological problem where their people are unable to work their fields because they're so afraid that somebody's going to come down and rain fire on them. So I feel like the logical thing for the King of Teeth to ask is some sort of concrete assurance that that won't happen, and I am highly doubtful that our word will suffice for that. So are you willing to give me up to do what you want?
I can't give you up. Or I'm not willing. I can't make that choice, so no.
Would you hold against me if I didn't give myself up? Because I'm not doing it.
No. No.
And it looks like we're all in agreement.
Just have someone persuade them that we won't kill them all. That'll be easy.
Wow, I'm glad you're here. Okay. All right. Okay. I feel a little better about this now. We could keep going if you want to try and get there tonight.
I'd be down. Yeah, it's only a couple miles away probably. So just push it for an hour and see if we get there.
Yep.
Okay. Which way are you traveling?
It was north. That was the way. It was, or north by northwest.
Okay. And you're all pushing it for an hour?
Yep.
DC 11 Constitution saves?
I'm fine. And Zephyr
That's what
is not fine.
That's a 9.
9. Okay, so you
Oh
mark
my
1.
God. I forgot that I took Brazilian and con, and I was like, where the hell did that come from? That's a 16.
16.
I succeed, Zephyr
Okay.
fails.
So you walk for about an hour into the hills. At about the 45-minute mark, you begin to pass by some of these hillsides you can see have been carved, they've been worked into sort of like stepped terraces. You can see in many of them there are recently harvested fields. You can see the stalks of wheat that have been cut down and other sorts of things. You notice here and there, you can see on the steps and on the terraces, you can see human individuals working with scythes and with tools or other things. You can also see farm animals here and there, mostly goats, a few others. At roughly the end of that time, you reach sort of the foot of the mountains, and a large structure has been built there, a town really. It's surrounded by a wall, which you can see rises into the air, but in between it and sort of in every corner, there is an enormous white spike that rises up, curved inward. You can see there's 6 of them that easily rise hundreds of feet into the air, bent inwards like huge teeth or bones or claws.
Are these bones?
As you look at them from this distance, they certainly look like the right color, but you're not entirely sure. You can see there's sort of a main track now that leads to the front gates. You can see there are lots of individuals moving in and out.
Anyone noticed us at this point?
I mean, people have seen you, but nobody's panicking yet.
Okay. Yeah. Love it. All right, I'll take the cuffs out of the sack and put them on myself.
Okay.
One should probably take a point.
Okay. I start walking forwards. You said there's a central gate.
Yeah.
That people shooting in and out of. Can we walk towards that gate?
Sure.
And I'm going to look for the most important person.
Okay. So by the gates, the gates are probably roughly 20, maybe 30 feet wide. There are lots of kind of guards and soldiers standing around, dressed in kind of this heavy wrought iron mail. The majority of the people you see here are orcish. You have the heavy, broad jaws, the short tusks, the kind of the dull, kind of grayish green skin. You also see here and there, you can see there are some goblinoids, a few humans. Yeah, occasionally scattered here and there are others, but it's majority orcish. You see you're looking for the most important person here?
Yeah.
You can see there's one guard who is dressed in a little bit more ornate armor, heavy, broad shoulder, almost like flanged pauldrons. They carry a large, heavy sword in their belt. Look pretty important.
I walk up, I approach them.
I'll tap Wilavor on the back and cast tongues.
Okay.
God. Alright. I'm going to walk up to that individual,
Okay.
as long as no one stops me,
Yeah.
and just trying to wave him down. Say,
Kind of looking-
hello, we are representatives of the Dauntless. Do you know who we are?
See, they start reaching for their sword.
Please, we're here to...
You come bearing no flag.
Do you recognize this individual by any chance? He's the one that you all fear. And he's here in chains right now. As a show of good faith, to meet with your king, to end these hostilities.
Make a persuasion roll.
Yes.
Let's say 29.
Yes.
Fine. I will bring you to the king.
Thank you.
They bark an order, which I guess only you can understand. Say, form up, 6 in front, 6 in back. And you watch as several more guards come to the guardhouse.
They bring back and stop us.
These guards are pretty heavily armed. They have broad shields on their back and heavy swords and axes in
They
their
have
belts.
bows?
You see there's a few archers up on the walls.
Well, they don't have bows.
These ones no, didn't seem like They escort you through the city, and you can see now, it's not a big city, but there are definitely buildings that rise 2-3 stories.
Does Zephyr stay with us, or...
I don't know.
he follows me. Are they stopping him?
They look and kind of say, is that with you?
Is my familiar more or less?
I thought it was with you.
He will stay outside the keep, but he might come.
Fair enough.
There are buildings here that look like they have stone foundations and wooden tops. You can see there are shingled rooftops. You see market stalls and places that serve food and drink. You can see there are merchants and things around. The streets are quite busy. You get very everything has been built to fit inside these walls, and it's very cramped because of it. The streets are narrow, a little more than alleyways. You can see the lanterns that are hung are crowded almost on each other. Washing lines strongly fit a few clothes between the two. The whole thing has this very cramped, packed feeling to it. In the back of the city, the mountains rise, sort of cliffside, straight and tall and steep, and in the front are all, like I said, sort of like these curved wall. It takes you a few minutes of walking through the town before you reach sort of a large stone structure in the center that rises. You can see it sort of rises roughly like 2-3 stories high with sort of a tower on the back. The front of it you can see opens out onto a cobbled square, and there are dozens, if not hundreds, of people that are all scattered here, sort of in this square, going into the main gates, into this sort of long hall, about 100 feet long. You understand what I mean? Like it's almost like a cathedral, sort of like it's facing the square, and it has this long, narrow body. And so the entire sort of backside opens up into the square. As you approach, you can see the guards are sort of pushing people aside. Make way! Make way! We need to speak to the king. And after a few minutes of pushing and shoving, you're led deeper and deeper into this sort of like long stone hall. Columns line the side and tall sort of arched Gothic windows on each side. You can see in front of each of these columns another heavily armed guard, dressed in more ornate, sort of spiked and flanged and flared armor. Some of them wear masks over their faces.
How many columns?
There are... Give me a second.
Gee, your notes are so detailed.
There are 10 on each side. 20
Sam,
guards.
your notes are so detailed.
It's almost like I'm a dungeon master.
Wow.
I know.
Emphasis on master.
And commander. Anyway, as you reach the front of this hall, I mean, the guards still pushing your way through, you can see that there is a sort of a slightly raised stone platform, a dais, with a wooden chair atop it. The back of it is backed with sort of spiked bones, sort of radiating outwards. In front of the dais, however, sunk into the ground about 5 feet down, the railing around it is what's clearly a fighting pit. You can see inside right now there are 2 orcs. You can see both of them are bare-chested with knives out, cutting at each other, dodging this way and that, until one of them knocks the other to the ground and puts a knife to his throat. You hear one of them, you understand, say, I yield, but at which point the entire crowd roars and thunders. You see the individual seated in the chair, a tall, brawny orc, looks a little older than many of the ones you've seen, wearing just simple sort of cloth, bare-armed, with a crown, sort of a leather band set with spiked bones. And you can see that rather than just sort of sit easily on the temple, the lower part of the spikes sink into their temples. It almost clings to their flesh. You see, as the fight concludes, this individual slams his hand on the chair, and the crowd falls down, barks out an orcish, says, You, Nashgadal, you are free and your case is complete, and you are the loser of this fight and thus this trial. You shall pay 50 gold pieces of blood money with the murder of the cattle, and be on your way. You see the individuals are helped and hauled up out. The victor is like clapping the back, and there's much like sort of like, oh, good job, well done. You can see the loser is not shamed, but is given sort of a wide berth as they sort of stalk out of the hall. You can see kind of rowing at their wounds in places. Which point the guard captain who's been escorting you steps forward and barks, My king, I bring with you Grajuk, the destroyer. You can see the entire crowd fall silent. The king leans, the guards sort of part to let the 3 of you be clear in his view, and he beckons towards you, to the front of the fighting pits.
All 3 of us?
Yeah. He slams his hand once more, and he barks out in Orcish. All those not part of the court, leave this place. It is closed for the time being, shall reopen soon. You watch as sort of the guards begin to push people out. It takes several minutes, 5, 10, as you stand in silence, still surrounded by your about a dozen Orcish guards. As everyone is escorted outside, the wide, heavy wooden doors of this main hall close. Now it's basically just like a wide, long, 100-foot hall surrounded by easily 30-plus guards, heavily armed, and the King of Teeth himself sitting on his throne. As the 3 of you stand a little bit to the side in front of him.
Do any of these guards or any individuals remaining in here look like, is anyone holding a staff? Is anyone looking?
You can see behind the king on his dais, there are a few other chairs where advisors sit. You can see several of them, a couple of them are wearing robes. One of them has a staff, another one you can see fiddle with a wand. You can see there are a few others. What?
It's just a funny question. Mage vision.
The king says in fairly good Esterling, Greetings and welcome to my court.
Thank you for having us, Your Majesty.
Yes. So, For what reason have you come?
We're here in good faith. You can see the destroyer is in chains.
Hmm.
We're here for good reasons. We're here to sue for peace between our groups.
For peace.
For peace. No violence, at the very least. Mutual existence, more or less, if nothing else. What would your terms of such an agreement be, if you had any?
Oh, I have terms.
Figured.
Question to decide right now is what should be done with you. We brought you into our clan. I can still see the scar of where you were anointed with bone. And that yet then you turn on us. You kill our people. You slaughter them. Burn them. Drown them. Crush them with iron and steel. Rip them to shreds. Rack thunder through their bodies. And yet now you come suing for peace.
Yes, pretty much.
It seems to me then you owe us a debt.
What kind of debt would this be?
A debt for more than 50 lives of my kinsmen that you've murdered.
Okay. I assume it would start with his.
I believe so, yes.
Okay. Fortunately, those terms are non-agreeable.
I figured.
We're not going to give him up. He's not going to die from this. That's our starting point. No matter what. From there, happy to go wherever you want, but you need to realize...
But Garajuk the Destroyer will not be laid to rest.
He will not be laid to rest. That
What
is-
of Gorak? What happened to him? The Dragon Slayer.
Oh. Gorak died.
What
Gorak
beast
was
felled him?
Nightwalker.
I have heard tales of such thing.
Horrifying.
Yes.
Is there any form of agreement you could even think of coming to that does not include?
I would ask you the same thing. If I murdered 50 of your friends and family, kin and kith, what would satisfy you?
I can see the logic in that. There's probably not much, if I'm being honest. But what were your reasons behind doing it? Context matters.
Context.
Yeah, it does.
My soldiers were in the Decus Curae, the temple. And you came on them and you slaughtered them. When we next saw you, we ambushed you, yes?
Yes.
And then Zarkad made you members of our clan, our tribe, and we set you loose as allies and friends. No true harm was done to you. Then you come upon us again, and you burn our camp where it stands, and drown our kinsmen on land. Is that context for you?
That's pretty accurate context. I mean, I feel like you glossed over the fact that your kingsman nearly killed me and a few others.
Yes.
My first time on this Isles,
Yes.
the very first thing that happened was your kingsman put an arrow in my side.
Yes. And
Several.
they made you a member of
Actually.
our clan because
Under
of
threat
it.
of
Under
death.
threat of death.
Yes.
For doing nothing. Absolutely nothing.
You came upon our land.
We were simply sleeping in the woods outside
You
of
were
your
on
camp.
our land.
It does not matter. That's just ridiculous.
From our perspective, you're on ours.
Is that so?
Yes.
Tell me, how long have your dauntless been on these isles?
Irrelevant.
Irrelevant. The blood of the Almighty runs in my veins. We are descended from the gods of this realm. The Bone Fort has been here for centuries. You have been here, what, a year at most? And yet you say irrelevant?
Change always comes. Always.
I don't care what you have to say. Your words are silvered and poisoned. Grajuk, traitor. What do you have to say?
The blood of the Almighty runs in your veins, yes? Is that correct?
That is.
The blood of no one runs in my veins. So why are you so afraid of me?
Fear? Is that a challenge?
No. I genuinely would like to know.
I myself do not fear you. But my people, farmers, children, people who have tended the land for years, people who work wood and stone, not iron and blood and bone, they are the ones who fear you, and they are my people, and thus I fear for them. Are you so blind you cannot understand that? Has compassion left your heart entirely?
It seems to me as though an agreement could be made for peace
Yes.
if your people's fear was assuaged.
Yes, I entirely agree. And yet, your dog here then says that having your head on a pike is not enough, is not allowed.
I believe we can come to a more creative solution than that.
A more creative solution.
Yes.
And perhaps the heads of all of the Dauntless on pikes would suffice. There what? A dozen of you? 2?
Is that a challenge?
I am using justice here. I will fight you if that's what it takes, Garashuk. I will beat you, and I will break every bone in your body.
I have no doubt of that.
Is that what you want?
Hardly.
So then do not give me a creative solution. Give me justice.
Do you know why we're here?
You're here because I asked for you.
No. Do you know why the Dauntless are here on this island?
To conquer, it sounds like. And to kill.
You speak our tongue.
Yes.
You must know where it comes from.
Yes. The shores of the Great Eastern Empire. I have heard tales of such a place. I learned from the sailors.
When we first came here, that Great Eastern Empire didn't quite care what we were doing.
Hmm.
But as of late, they've taken a great interest. And if you know the tales of the Great Eastern Empire, you know that the wheels of warfare turn.
Yes. And I know that those who come to these shores do so because they flee that empire.
Not anymore. We are the empire now.
So you are soldiers. Conquerors. Come to lay ruin to what we have and take it for your own.
Not necessarily.
We still have free choice, unlike most soldiers.
Do you?
Yes, we do. That's why we're here right now, suing for peace.
Suing
The
for
soldiers will not do that. The Empire will not do that.
We're offering you a chance to draw borders now
In exchange for what?
in exchange for the promise that those borders will not be crossed
Really?
in the future.
Just as you made an oath to my people to not harm them?
Under threat of death, yes, I made an oath. An oath made under threat of death doesn't really sound like an oath to me. It sounds like a way to get out of an impossible situation.
And we expected you to hold that oath regardless.
I would say that that expectation is invalid, as we were held
We
under
defeated
threat of
you.
death,
We defeated you.
and we defeated you.
Let us settle it here. You and me, Karajuk. We will fight.
No,
No.
no. I'm giving you a very, very valuable opportunity to secure the futures of your children.
So you would now have me make oath under threat of death, as just as you said.
I am not threatening you
Aren't
with death.
you?
I'm threatening you with life, frankly.
What does that even mean?
It means that eventually there will be boatloads of soldiers coming here, and they will not be willing to speak with you, and you will not be able to stand up to them.
And am I to imagine that when those soldiers come here, they will respect the borders that you drew?
Yes.
You outcasts?
Yes.
Your persuasion roll.
Fuck.
Fine.
Sorry.
We're up to this time.
That's a 10?
You want to burn your crypto?
I think I do.
Yep.
Let's see if I do. That's worse.
So it's 10.
Yeah.
What assurance do I have that that is true?
We'll draw up a treaty. We'll mark.
What assurance do I have that that treaty will not be broken?
I'll take out my signet ring.
Yes?
Yes.
What is that?
This is mark of nobility. from the Empire.
Does that matter here?
Doesn't matter here, but when they come, it will.
Make persuasion roll disadvantage.
You disadvantage.
That's a 5.
Do you want to burn your pep token?
What's your
I
higher?
still at disadvantage.
I mean, you just roll one die. If
What's
it's
your,
higher
what's
than
your higher
zero.
die?
I don't know my titles.
So I'm.
I mean, I'll give you my token. What do you?
You can't stack tokens.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, so you could give it to him, but he couldn't then burn his again. Yeah.
We
That makes
patched
sense.
that one after the last session.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or last.
That is
21?
Throw.
Oh my god.
So you give me a word of nobility
Yes.
that if we draw a treaty here, it will not be broken.
Yes. I do.
What is your name?
Barabbas.
Barabbas. Of which house?
House of Grixie.
Barabbas of Grixie, I hold you to your oath. If the treaties are broken, may all the gods in this world and the next come down upon you.
If they
I will sign a treaty, but I will still have justice for the wrongs done to my people.
Can you be more specific?
Well, as it seems that I cannot have your head, I have to find other terms, but I trust the word of this one. What can you offer me then, for the lives of my 50 kinsmen?
Well, I should warn you. We have some information in regards to possible threat to your daughter.
Do you?
Yes.
So once again,
It's not from
my kith and kin are threatened, so you can have your way.
we have information that another group is threatening her.
Really?
Yes.
And let me guess. This other group is called Those Who Cannot Be Daunted.
It's clever. But no.
Then who?
Do you know of a group of hags living in the...
No, Lord Kevin, yes. They are a thorn in our sides and have been for years.
They wanted to kidnap your daughter and bring her back to them.
How do you know this?
Because they asked us to, and we refused.
You've met them?
Yes. Not on good terms.
I can imagine.
But they asked us to kidnap your daughter, bring her back to them, and then bring her back after they did whatever. But we refused to do that. We don't hurt children.
Thinks for a long moment to himself, scratching at his chin. I made a covenant with those hags, one bound under contract to the Fae, that we could not do harm to them, but if you could go and deal with those hags, that would perhaps be a start. Allow us to push south into the swamps, grow our fields, take nourishment from the water. That might be a start in paying the debt that's owed.
Would you sign the treaty before that was accomplished, or only after?
I would sign it before. But that is not all. The lives of 3 Fae creatures does not equal the lives of my people. What else can you
Were
offer?
your people to march on those hags, do you think that they would be able to destroy them?
I already told you, we've signed a covenant. We can't
If the
think that's-
covenant didn't exist, and you took those,
Covenant, how would the covenant not exist?
if you hadn't made it,
How would I not have made a covenant? Look, I am not certain how things happen in your empire, but here, when we make covenants, oaths, pacts, we stand by them. Do not bring such talk of dishonor and treachery to me.
If 50 individuals with equal skill to those who are in question at the moment were to march on those hags, do you think they would be successful in vanquishing them?
I cannot say. I don't know.
You know fighting, yes?
I do, yes, and I do not know the capabilities of those hags.
I do.
Do you?
Not the extent.
Then we are alike, much as it pains me to say it.
We killed 50 warriors of that skill.
Yes.
The hags would have killed us if they hadn't let us go.
Would they have?
Yes.
They do.
So if we are to understand that a warrior's capability in battle,
It is not only the capability in battle. I can raise 50 swords. What I care about is the children whose parents are now dead. What I care about are the dead brothers and sons and sisters and daughters, cousins, aunts and uncles, those we once held dear and close, now brought low, never to be seen again, picked apart by crows and left to rot in the sun. Simply doing the work of 50 warriors is not what I value. What I value is the lives and the loss of what could have been. Still, bringing ruin to those sisters would be a start.
shall we draw up this treaty? Maybe more will come to mind as we're working on it.
Yes. Can any of you read my tongue?
Yes.
Alright. Points to some of his advisors. He barked over, she says, "Bring forth parchment and quills and ink. We will sign a contract." Rather than do all that in explicit character, what terms are you?
So if I may draw this on our map.
Sure. Yeah.
Ha! Aha! Cool use of the map. I would like to mark out the area, like basically the Bone Fort and Longfang Camp, the ruin of it. Those as 2 points, draw a line between them. Everything south of that on Orientis is theirs.
We need the hills and the Whistling Wood if we can find a way to stop. That's everything south of the Tumblestone.
We should give him what he wants.
It's not something.
Yeah.
Where it ends the mountains, draw a line to the ruins of the Black Iron Tower of the Dwergar. From there to the sea to the mouth of the Tumblestone.
I don't really care about that area.
Like that.
I think so.
Just to be clear,
Yes.
he's saying if this is the ruin of the
Yeah.
he's saying like down to where the
Mouth of the
river
Tumblestone
starts.
is, and then from
there all over here. So everything here.
yeah.
The problem, does that mess up our travel at all? Because that means we can't.
Your terms of whether or not you can go on their land is up for debate. You haven't settled that yet.
Yeah.
That's just what belongs to him.
Yeah. A lot of land, man.
Do we need it though?
He's got a lot more people than you do.
Yeah, we really don't need that lands. There's very little value there.
I'm inclined to give it to him.
Yeah. Just for the record, Wilavor's doing the talking.
Okay.
So like, angled down from the bridge. So bridge, southeast, all the way down to the coast.
Yeah.
Like a line southeast all the way down to the coast. In like north of that, northeast of that, we would keep.
Yeah.
Everything else.
Yeah.
we
So
would south.
picture the border that he drew.
Sure.
Now make a line from the westernmost like makeshift bridge,
No bridges in this whole stuff.
the like ruined one.
The Green Ford. The westernmost ford of the Tumblestone in the woods was made of logs, spread out across them, though I believe it's since collapsed.
Yes.
So from the Green Ford to where?
To, I don't know if he knows what the Maiden's Cove is. Cove
Yes.
where the
He would say he's heard of such a thing, but he says, I need the deck of Skewday. The temple is too valuable.
why?
It's a roof, it's shelter. And the undead have since stopped growing. Why? What is that for you?
Memories mostly.
Of killing my people.
No. More with ghosts and Yakteen priests killing them in that temple.
We did the same. And you have roofs for your people. As I'm sure you can see, the streets of the Bungford are packed tight.
Are you not capable of building shelter closer?
We are, but one built of stone and already there is a Bible thing. For all their faults and madness, the cultists did know how to build structures well.
Technically need it.
Yeah. I think we're willing to accept those terms as long as we can freely travel through it all.
Yeah, I think so too. Give them everything south of the river as long as we can travel. And if we wanted to add in finding the source and stopping the source of the Whistling Woods as further payment of the debt, we could certainly try and find that source. So that your people can safely, easily inhabit those woods.
Can you do that?
Oh, absolutely.
You should. Persuasion roll.
Prep token, this is on that one. 20.
Fine. You will travel through those lands to put out the source of the whistling. After that point, you may travel through the Whistling Wood and along the coastline of the Howling Hills, but do not come deeper.
We're gonna need him to mark that one on our map.
Yeah.
What?
We don't know where the Howling Hills are.
These hills, all around
Oh,
us.
so up here.
Sure. All right.
Yeah.
I mean, that
All the hills west of the Whistling Wood and north of the Gnarl Forest. The
So we
Gnarl
just
Swamp.
can't go here. Except for, tags. That's agreeable. Is that good? Anything else?
Tell me, what would it cost me to include the Jackal Flats,
Is that
the plains all around the Scum Town? The Knolls have since moved on, and the area is much safer.
if we can freely travel through that area, because we use it a lot to get to the chasm and beyond? If you could remove the debt of ending the hags, I would be inclined to allow you to do that. It's a very
I would not settle all the blood debt that is owed to my people, but it was equivalent, allowing us to settle those plains that fertile, and come springtime it would be helpful. I would not settle all the blood debt that Grujuk and the rest of you owe, but it would be a great start.
so then you get the plains, that area south. We can travel through those sections, and we find we end the source of the whistling in the woods.
Yes.
Does that sound agreeable? to say it.
The debt is still owed, but for the terms of the treaty.
That much land and our debt settled. It's enough land to sustain 50 families for 50 generations.
Along with a massive fort up on the plains, huge lake, source of water, fresh water, I assume.
That lake is not necessarily drinkable.
Poisonous, probably.
Not poisonous, but simply just full of
Regardless, it
Sad.
is a pre-built fort, so it's safe.
the hags and the plains, and you will have your debt paid.
I believe that's agreeable.
Okay. Good.
Yep.
That's where we at. I agree.
Right. And go both inside. You watch as they produce a quill. An orcish scribe has been writing this whole thing the whole time in I guess in orcish. And you see they bring forth this long quill that you can see is fletched with sort of like these deep grayish, slightly shimmering quill or feathers. And the tip of it you can see is pale like it's bone. The King of Teeth takes it, as he lances his wrist, and then writes in his own blood on the contract. Signs the King of the Teeth. And he passes it to you and the quill. He's going to pass to each one of you three in turn.
Sure. Okay. We don't know about bloodborne pathogens. I'll do the same.
Okay. Okay, so you just take one point of damage as you land the stone on wrists.
I'm down.
Just moving stuff.
So basically, you were intended to find the source of the whistling wood and stop it.
Well,
Remove.
Reading it over first, obviously.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, sure.
So to remove the whistling wood, to remove the source of the whistling in the whistling woods, and to remove the hags found deep in the south, what they call like the gnarl wood or the gnarl swamp. Gnarl swamp or marsh? Sorry, I'm looking at my own map.
Marrow marsh.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Oh, yeah, lots of gnarl sounds.
Yeah.
In exchange, they get the Howling Hills, the Whistling Wood, the Gnarl Marsh, and what they call the Jackal Flats, Jackal's Flats, which you can travel freely through, but they are entitled to build on it and enforce their own laws.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. I need to draw this stuff out. So to be clear on what the Jackal Flats is,
It's that big grassy stretch all around the Green Lake, the Scumtarn.
Yes. That ends at the
So on the-
rocky area. That's
on the-
to the north.
Yeah, to the northeast, there's those rocky hills. They call them the Ridgeback Highlands.
And then south of that is
South of that,
woods.
the Tumblestone kind of follows the south. It's like if you go southeast, you hit the Whistling Wood. If you go southwest, you hit the Howling Hills.
Yeah.
If you go straight west, you hit the Granite Walls.
The what?
The Granite Wall Mountains. Granite Walls.
Oh, yeah.
And if you go kind of like northwest, you go into like that rising forest, sort of forested highlands towards the mountains up on the cliffs and the lake.
Okay. So, I'm just gonna rough it out. It's fine.
Sure.
I love that we got to draw borders on this. That's real fun. Okay. Cool.
Well, I'm glad we get that sorted out.
Not sorted out yet.
Mostly sorted
The terms have been agreed upon. You have yet to uphold your debt.
We'll do it.
Okay. Before Kay gives up the quill, he's going to title it in Esterling. Title the treaty.
Sure.
Treaty of Longfang.
Treaty of the Long Thing?
The Treaty of Longfang.
Okay. Why that title?
Does he recognize the name?
Long Thing is a kind of soldier.
And so we refer to the camp as.
Oh. Alright.
Alright.
So, do you two both sign as well?
Yes.
Okay. Arabus of Grixie, the weight is on your shoulders.
Yes.
Should stand. Stand
Sure.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Signet ring.
Stamp with blood.
Stamp with the signet ring.
This is cool as hell.
Beyond that, I name thee Thrajdan.
Spelling.
Th. Thraj. Thrazdan. Thrajdan.
Okay.
Which in our tongue means oath arm, essentially. The arms of the oath. It means that the oath runs through your veins, through your hand.
And I will keep it as best as I can.
Good. No go. Stay in our inns if you need to.
Very gracious of you.
And Grajuk, know that your deception does not go unseen. And mark how I treat you with respect regardless. Sits back down and he slams his fist to his chair once more. It goes through the hall. You watch the gates are and pulls open again and the crowd begins to stream back in. What do you do?
Fuck out.
Okay.
Peace.
Like salmon swimming upstream.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you
Moving our way through the crowd as the
Okay.
camera pans up towards the ceiling
Okay.
and
The
we
guys-
slowly disappear into the crowd of orcs that we just basically signed a death warrant for. Fucking Empire's not gonna fucking recognize that shit. Holy fuck. These guys are all fucked.
Okay. And what do you do once you're in the streets?
Just stay in.
Do we
Take the rest
You are out
of
of travel for today, and Grixie is exhausted.
You're
Yeah,
looking,
Don't
looking a
let
little,
that
Let's do it.
stop you.
looking a
No,
little.
no. We gotta stay in the inn.
Yeah, let's
Right
stay in
here.
the inn.
This is gonna be great. This is gonna go fine.
Okay.
Are we being escorted to an inn?
No, the guards just turned you
Oh
loose.
shit. Okay.
Cool.
Guess we're gonna try and find an inn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Use another charge of comprehend languages to see if.
Okay. So you go and find it in. It's marked. You can see on the sign. It's swinging. I mean, yeah, this is the city. It's marked by a big mug of ale with like just like slab of meat next to it. This one's called the Boar's Tusk. Is the name of it. So you go inside, and between tongues and different languages, you manage to book some rooms. It's 3 silver a room. I don't know how many you want.
Do we want to be safe?
I need my own room.
Okay. I'll take my own room too.
Okay. Appreciate your own room. 3 silvers with room and board. Okay. Anything else to talk about this evening?
I think I'm good.
Okay.
Kay's gonna alarm all the shit out of his
Okay.
doors.
If I'm in the bar area, do I stick out a lot? I'm sure.
I mean, you're dressed pretty weirdly, yeah.
Yeah, that's
There are a
true.
few other humans around, but not
Okay.
many.
I'm going to just attempt to do what I did last time I was around some orcs and try and learn some more orcish songs with my drum.
Okay, make
Pulling the fucking drum out. She's pulling out an AR-15 in the fucking bar.
make an intelligence roll,
I'm just going to
and add your music proficiency.
Tactical move,
Oh,
not
okay.
an AR.
So I have expertise.
It's a drum.
Oh, music proficiency, right? Yeah,
This movie drum.
trash roll. 17.
Yeah, so you pick up as best you can like a few new Orcish songs. You don't know all the words, but you can get the sense one of them is something about like the hunting of beasts in the forest, sort of like a marching song, and the other one is pining for what you can even tell is either a love or a storm. It's unclear which is which.
So, orcish songs or country songs?
I mean, most songs you sing are country songs.
That's fair.
There's no like post-punk in D&D.
Sam, not yet.
Yeah,
It's our job.
Okay.
Okay,
Wilbur
cool.
just found his life goal. It's to defend pop punk by first creating pop punk, then attacking pop punk.
Honestly, Wilavor would be the pop punk. You know, like Wilavor.
That's true, yeah.
Okay. The meals here are basically like they serve you like a flask or a flagon, and they just give you like just a big slab of charred meat.
Sounds good.
It's like really good. It's just
Yeah.
like it's like being handed like a
Love
multi
meat.
steak, just like handled together with like. You know.
Sweet. Cool.
Is Ripple here? Ripple's in the back.
Aye.
Alright, cool. After that, at some point I'll wander upstairs and go to bed.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not going to bother with any alarms.
Okay.
I guess, does this tavern have stables?
Sure. A
Probably
small
would.
one.
Is it, am I on the first floor?
Where do you want to be?
I want to be on the first floor if
Sure.
possible. Is there a window?
Yeah.
I'm just going to have Zephyr, like,
In the street.
basically in the street.
Okay.
Unless it's like a back alley or something, or like a back.
Sure,
like,
you're gonna
building
go into an
close
alleyway.
enough. Zephyr's
Sure.
just going to be behind the
Okay.
window.
Zephyr jams himself into an alleyway. Okay. Grixie, anything to do tonight?
Grixie's passing the fuck out.
Great. Okay. The night past
Wait,
this
wait,
in.
wait, wait, wait.
Okay.
While we're in the bar,
Okay.
Kay's gonna make sure he's the last of us three down there.
Okay.
Still lots of people moving
Sure.
around.
Yeah.
That's pretty late.
What?
Wilbur's going to be.
That's fine. That's fine. I will go up to like the burliest looking dude I can possibly
Okay.
like find,
Okay.
and I will just say in Orcish, "I'm Grazuk."
Looks at you. It's this one-eyed orc you can see just covered in scars, kind of graying hair on the edges. Do you speak Orcish?
Like
Tell yourself,
yes,
sure.
okay.
Yor Grajuk.
Yes.
You killed my brother and my niece.
How does that make you feel?
Angry and sad.
What will you do about it?
Nothing. If the king agrees that you should live, then you should live.
Frankly, the king doesn't agree with that.
He lets you walk out.
Yeah.
I will never forgive you, Grajuk. And he stands up and he barks in Orcish. Points. This is Grajuk! The king let him live. He stands up. You watch as like almost all the orcs stand up and begin to just walk out.
Ah, okay.
The barman comes over to you and says, I'm sorry. We're closing the bar. You should go to your room.
He goes up.
Okay.
Got him.
Along the way, you can see several other people are like leaving their rooms, like getting them refunded.
Okay.
And as they walk out for the night.
I tried so hard. All right.
To what? To pick a
I
fight?
know. I was trying to get him to break the terms of the treaty. Because if he had hit me, then
Yeah, it's almost
They
like
would
these
be
orcs are
fine.
fucking loyal.
yeah. Well, they probably haven't read it, but I'm glad that I see the light. No, it's good. It's really good.
Okay.
Cast compelled duel.
Okay. The night passes without incident.
One health deck.
As you leave for the morning, I assume, you can see the streets outside this bar are like lined with orcs. They're not armed, they're just like standing along the edges of the street.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
As you step outside, one of them points to you. You killed my sister. Another one says, you killed my husband. As you walk, you can see, as you walk by every orc, they list their family members, their friends that they killed. You killed Thanat. He was my best friend. You killed Ashkar. She was my love. You killed Azgadal. He was my father. Like, listing off the names of the dead. You hear them repeated as you go, of multiple people knowing them. As you walk out of the city, the entire church is just lined with people who say, you killed this person. This is how they matter to me. Until you eventually reach the gates, which they open for you. I mean, they're open.
Yeah.
And you walk out into the tracks leading out of the bone fort.
Yeah.
So once we're outside, the truth of you, I swear to God, if we don't follow this treaty, I will flay you two both alive before they can.
How serious are you being?
Me? Dead serious.
Seems fair to me.
As if your bristles and look at you.
Easy, easy.
Anyway, I believe eggs are on the menu, yes?
Yep.
Yes.
Let's teleport.
Okay, where are you going?
Teleportation circle?
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's hope. Hey, when you guys killed that rock, is that boy rock or girl rock?
Definitely did not look, but if it's closest to it, we can try. I don't know the
Okay.
anatomy of a
No, it's fine. It's fine.
rock.
It's fine. I just hope we don't run into
Oh,
the
it's-
other
yeah,
one.
it's a main. Hmm.
How long does it take to hook up?
What?
How long does
A
it take
minute
to
if I expend a slot. Yeah.
We'll be fine.
Do you know how many miles north of the circle the mountain is?
We can get a.
It was
good look.
essentially a day.
Okay. We could also
With
speed
sun.
that up technically if we wanted to. If I wanted to rely more from if you guys read Zephyr, you can just ignore screen.
Can all three of you read Zephyr?
Two people can, I can probably look this up.
Sure.
But I think it took us 7 hours to get with
Okay.
kids.
I mean, yeah, let's do half a day and we'll see how close we are.
Okay, so you teleport to the circle of the mountains, you emerge into the...
Teleporting with the locket, right? So we only take 10 minutes to teleport, and we can.
It doesn't really
when we're
matter.
up there.
It's an hour to teleport, but yeah.
It's an hour to do it by the locket,
Yeah.
but it's 10 minutes if I use
Okay.
the spell.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which, I'm just saying, lock it's
Oh,
hour.
you want to limit the time we're up there?
Yes.
Okay, that's fair. Then yeah, teleport with the locket to the circle.
Okay.
Okay, so you spend an hour outside the walls.
Yeah. Well, we'll go out a little bit first.
Past
Okay.
the fields.
Okay.
Jesus.
What?
The people are still shouting the names 10 feet away.
They're never shouted at you.
Oh,
They just
sorry.
said them as
They're
you walk
just
by.
saying the names 10 feet away from us for an hour.
Yeah, we just go out the front gate and just fucking post up for an hour. It's like, hold on, I'm waiting for my ride.
Well, we're just making a song for names.
Jesus.
Okay, so you
Awkward
teleport...
Uber.
What?
It's an awkward like wait for an Uber.
Yeah.
You know.
Anyway.
So you emerge in your low stone cavern, and you can hear the rush of the river outside.
Cool.
You step outside, and you can see the river running.
So directly north?
Yeah.
Okay.
Directly north.
Okay. So you walk
Fast
northwards. What pace?
Fast.
Yeah.
Fractions,
I know.
decimals, and percents.
Wait, so hang on, I should think of those math. So you go 1 mile an hour mountains normally at a fast pace that brings you 1.3 miles an hour, and then you. Oh, it's 1.3. I didn't think that was. I was trying to third that again. Okay. Okay. So you walk northwards, and the river sort of bends to Grixie could tell you to your it bends westward. So you sort of follow along that. For about an hour, as then it veers to your right, back northwards again. Basically, then it starts to veer more eastwards, and you break off with Grixie. So you walk for an hour, and then 2 hours, and then 3 hours. About the 2.5 hour mark. As you crest a mountain, you can see in front of you is this wide, like, scar down the land where You can see stones have been overturned, trees have been knocked down. There's like an enormous like avalanche rock slide happened here. Narrow green shoots begin to emerge through it.
For the record, the entire time we're in this area, the drum is in the back.
Okay.
So it doesn't get horny when it sees
Yes.
what it did.
It begins to rain once again. It stopped overnight, but now it has started once more. You walk for the third hour and the fourth hour through the mountains.
Can we stop at 4 hours?
Yeah.
Climb a tree, look around.
Okay. Sort of behind you and to your left is that sort of scar across the land. To your left, nearby, the mountains descend down to the foothills of themselves. To your left, ahead of you, to the northwest-ish, kind of like west by northwest, you can see in the distance there are deep, dark forests cut through by a shining, shimmering strip. Actually, you couldn't see that in the rain. Never mind. To your right, you can see nearby is a river running kind of in between the mountain peaks. Further to your right, you can see it rises up above the tree line with sharp, stony cliffs. That's about where you are. Mountains restrict a lot of your visibility.
Okay.
If Zephyr wants to fly out, you can probably see it from here also.
Yeah, I'm gonna hop on Zephyr and just fly straight up
Okay.
as high as I can to get the perfect view.
Okay. As you fly upwards through the rain and you overcast, you basically fly into a cloud.
Yeah.
Like the mountains here rise higher than the clouds, which are hanging so low.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and get that.
I'm gonna get above the clouds.
Well,
I mean, yeah. The mountains rise above the clouds, right? Or like all the way.
Yeah, I mean, like you've been hiking in the rain, right? Like the clouds hang so low, like the mountain peaks rise above them.
Yeah, the mountain peaks are above them.
Right. And so if you try to fly much higher than those peaks to get a good view, you'll be in a cloud.
Oh, I see. Then yeah. So flying. So before I get into the cloud.
Okay. Make a perception roll. What are you looking for exactly?
Do we know if this peak was like the highest in the area? Yeah. So I'm gonna look for like, I'm gonna look for the rock nest in particular.
Okay.
I've seen before.
Okay.
And otherwise, I'm gonna look for the highest peak in the area that
particularly
should be
high and sheer.
and sheer, should be to our roughly north direction.
Flattish.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Fuck. That's unfortunate. Yeah, perception, that's a 6.
Yeah, as you scan around, you just see fog and mountainsides.
Yeah, that sucks. Okay, I come back down and see shit. We could speed up travel if you guys ride on Zephyr, and I just apply more myself. I can do it for like 5 hours. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fine by me. As long as we can keep an eye out while we're.
Yeah, I'm also going to be an eagle, so I can see pretty well.
Yeah. All right.
So
Do you want to ride Zephyr and fly more for us?
it doesn't really matter.
They kind of need you for straight directions.
Yeah,
Someone has to be navigating, or they need you to go straight north.
so unless you want to be an eagle, but like it doesn't really matter because Zephyr's just going to be going straight. So plus you know how to control it.
That's true.
Yeah, I'm just going to apply more myself into a giant eagle. I'll hop on Zephyr, keep going
Okay.
north.
Okay. What's Zephyr's speed?
80.
And can he pick up both of them?
He can carry 2 people. We went over this when we were
Okay,
figuring
sorry.
back and forth.
So 80, that means he's going basically 8 miles an hour. So Zephyr flies northwards for about the 20-minute mark. You can see off to your right, there's sort of a valley with a large lake in it, about a mile across, with some kind of structure on the side of it. As you fly for another 20 minutes or so, you reach higher up into the mountains, and you can see now to your right in the distance a particular mountain peak that rises with sort of a sharp spike atop it, kind of thing.
Cool.
Yeah.
Go to that.
Okay. So we'll travel after that 4 hours. Take you about 45 minutes.
So probably more busy than gone.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
It's me and
Could
my
have gotten here
nest.
like an hour and a half.
There's another egg in there.
Yeah. So as you fly up the mountains to this sort of like sharp.
Yeah, I am looking before I get even remotely close.
Okay.
Any sort of big things or movement or anything at the top of that peak as I get closer
And the surrounding area.
into the
Okay, make a
surrounding
perception
area.
roll.
Which Eagles have advantage on. 17.
17. So as you scan around, you can see sort of next to this like large sort of like straight spire sort of thing. there is an enormous sort of like body that's been stretched out. You can see rotting and bloated. It's long, like 50 feet in length, bloody all over. And you can see there are a couple of large things that are kind of sitting on it, ripping and tearing at it. So you're closer, you can tell through the two winged sides and the long spiky tails. These are two wyverns that are busy ripping into the carcass of what looks like a giant bird, minus its wings.
Okay. 2 weapons. Okay. Good to know. Probably gonna track those wyverns if we go.
Is the egg okay? You can't tell.
We gotta have to get a lot closer to see the.
As you flew up above, I mean, you can see above that spire, it didn't look like it had been damaged.
Okay, cool. So we just charge straight to the peak. See if the wyverns.
Okay. Are you trying to avoid the wyverns, or?
Do you want to know wyverns? I can
Yeah.
talk, so yeah. So
Might as well.
attempt to circle around.
Okay,
go
I need
back
stealth
side.
checks.
Do we?
So
need
is it just
stealth?
Zephyr?
Yes, because it's to try to like cut down your visibility
Yeah.
using Zephyr as best you can. Zephyr also needs to make one.
Yeah, I figured. Ooh, that was good.
Oh, it's good too.
And
4,
20.
20.
I had a 22, but
Okay.
Zephyr rolled a 3 plus something,
that's a
which is
disadvantage.
pretty low.
Yeah.
2.
Okay.
Zephyr's like somewhere between 2 and 5. It's low.
Okay. So you watch as you circle around, flapping. You can see at one point both of the wyverns look up at you, and one of them screeches at you, but they're not attacking. They're just kind of like sitting over the carcass, like kind of like
It's theirs.
snapping and thrashing. You see both their tails both curl up, almost like a scorpion, kind of in like a clear like defensive position.
Wait, where are they? Where is
On
this
the
rock
carcass.
body?
So
Like,
there's kind of
relative
this
to
spire
the
about 400 feet high. It's like right at the base of it.
Oh, okay, fuck it,
Yeah.
yeah.
Anyway,
So,
I'm
yeah,
gonna get to the spire
Okay.
and drop climb off.
and then
In the nest.
In the nest.
Okay.
can you cast the hut right now?
Yeah.
You have it.
Yeah. I mean, I can do a ritual, but I can also do it in a minute. if you
Oh,
want to.
okay, sure. Yeah, do that. Let's do that now.
I'm gonna cast it with a spell slot.
Okay.
Right, centered on the
Yeah.
egg,
Center
On the egg.
on the egg. Okay.
Okay.
if that's possible. Is it
Yeah.
possible?
10 foot radius.
Yeah. And then we just do the thing inside.
And then teleportation circle is also a 10-foot, or a.
10 foot diameter for the teleportation circle.
Okay, yes, that'll fit inside.
You can't teleport out of the dome though.
We'll drop it and then teleport.
Sure.
Yeah.
'Cause it
Actually-
takes 10 minutes to cast,
Yeah.
which is
Can
like
you
10 minutes of.
You
like,
might even
drawing.
still be able to cast it into the circle. Or inside the dome. I don't know. 'Cause
Yeah,
it
I
just
don't
says-
see why you wouldn't be able to.
Yeah, because
cast
it's just
it
the
out.
spell effects can't go through, but it's not, the effect is still inside. Yeah, you can teleport, cast inside.
Cool.
Good team.
So we do that.
I don't know if you could ordinarily teleport. Like you couldn't like Misty Step out of it,
Yeah.
but I think you could circle out of it.
Misty Step, I
You also
think,
probably
is like
couldn't dimension door out of it.
pretty solidly like you are just
Swarming
going-
over there.
You're changing your state of
Yeah.
matter and going
Yeah.
fast. Like,
Yeah. Okay, so you cast the dome using spell slot, and then you cast.
do the teleportation circle
Okay.
directly underneath the egg.
Okay. I will just tell you as you look at this, you realize that you three are going to have to go pretty darn fast to make it through there with the egg.
Aren't we?
We don't.
We have-
don't
we have-
to.
We have
It'll
a
be
second
easier.
use of TV.
And
Oh, sure.
we have oh no, we don't have the but yeah, we have a second.
Okay. So.
I'll just sit on top of the egg and ride it through.
Okay.
You don't like that?
That's,
eyebrow
that's still going to take a check.
No, that's fine. I'm not gonna do that.
Not
It's
worth
dumb
it.
as fuck.
Also, yeah.
Okay. So.
It's worth the 100 gold to get the God Forge.
Okay. So it takes a minute to cast, right? Teleportation circle?
10 minutes.
10 minutes?
So I mean it's 10 minutes to draw it out.
Oh, sure. Okay. So you draw it out on the earthen floor, and then you watch as the egg crashes through. You can just hear the barely bark of like, what the fuck from doing?
Sorry. I'll like call sorry like through the hole and it's gonna
You're gonna try and dive through,
No, sorry.
Oh,
like,
okay.
through the hole. It's
Okay.
gonna-
and then you're gonna cast another one.
Wait, do we see the other side of the TV circle?
Yeah, you can see it. It's like a portal.
Okay.
See the darkness of the stilts. Why?
This will be hopefully they will be pretty quick.
I mean, we're gonna fall onto it, but like, it's not gonna. Like. It's pretty
Do we
big.
want to wait up here at all for them to
Let
move
me
the
let
egg?
me look at the
Actually, why don't you just send them?
That was like
to see if they
2:30.
to have them move the egg.
They
let me
can't,
look at
though.
the spell
What? They
description.
can't because
They need
they
me to
don't
do
have
it.
reduce.
Yeah. Or it's somebody. I think
So it's currently
somebody
about
does
2:30 on Thursday.
Okay.
It's tomorrow.
It is tomorrow.
Sorry, my days get a little.
Yeah.
Let me look up self-illusion circle because it might have something in it about if space is occupied. I don't know if it is.
Sure. We should try it back through.
There it is.
Within
Within-
5 feet of the
yeah,
destination space or the nearest unoccupied space.
Cool.
Got
So
it.
we should be fine.
Oh, okay. Then yeah, we're good.
Nice.
There's just enough space now. It'll push us towards the stairs.
I will take the other 50
Okay.
Jeep of
Spend another
materials.
10 minutes, and are you gonna try and cram Zephyr in there too?
No.
Okay.
Just spell
Okay.
it now.
So yeah, draw it out
Okay.
and
You three dump through, and you just get dumped kind of unceremoniously to each side of the egg, splashing down in the water. But yeah,
Do we want to
That was efficient.
move the egg now? Just for the...
they might have moved it in the interim 10 minutes.
Yeah.
That's right.
I don't know if we
Um,
can,
I want to go have a conversation with Throx.
Okay. So you guys didn't fight anything,
We defeated those wyverns.
and you didn't discover anything new, so it's just role-playing speed for this session.
but
Awesome.
it's like the dragon counts. Hey, we've gotten decent experience in that point. Sort of.
Okay, so a role-playing experience.
We got some of that.
Yeah, you definitely did. Okay, significant decision influenced by your race. Human or half-elf?
I wouldn't say.
Like,
Nope.
I don't know.
I'd
Like,
say no. I mean, I wouldn't say what we did was really specific to humans.
I would. Like, border drawing and that being the solution to the problem instead of like fighting or.
Is that particularly human? Did you make that decision because you were a human?
I made that decision for a reason. that
Yeah, I think that's more background than
Okay,
anything
sure.
else. Significant decision influenced by your class.
Not my class,
Okay.
my background though.
Significant decision influenced by your background.
Not
I
significant.
did.
You definitely did. Did
Yeah.
you do it more than once?
Yeah. Kind
There-
of.
well,
The whole the starting and end.
Yeah,
before,
starting then
so
because
yeah.
you threatened both flay them and to uphold the oath. You two, your warlike background probably.
My what?
Your warrior background.
Oh, I thought you said warlock. I was like, don't blow my cover like this, man. Yeah, that's one.
one. Was there a second
and
one?
I'm sure there was. Let me think.
Wilavor.
Yeah.
Anything particularly musically?
I mean, not significant. I mean, I
Yeah.
did the orc song stuff, but I don't know if you call that significant.
It doesn't like. If that was part of the like Wilavor's collecting songs for some great
Yeah.
purpose, then it would be because it was just for fun. I don't think so. It's okay. Imparting significant lore or knowledge.
The hags. That's not lore, but like
Did
the
you-
knowledge.
well, we
knowledge
impart-
was I dropped
To another player.
Not to another.
Oh, not to another player. No.
Yeah. Or a player character rather.
Yeah.
Okay. Devising and detailing a plan.
We talked what we were gonna say before we got to the fort. I don't know if that would be
That's
a
true.
plan, but
That's-
like,
Yeah, who
was
came up with that?
kinda-
Who was
Uh,
the primary instigator on that?
I feel.
We were talking between us.
I mean,
but
I feel like
we all
most of
did
the
pretty evenly.
plan was
So who
like
wants-
what we do when
Yeah.
they
so
asked for Kay's life because he knew that
sure.
was going to happen.
So who wants the XP for that? Because we'll give it to you thus far because you don't have
Yeah.
any.
Okay.
That's fine.
Greedy verisimilitude problems.
No.
Nah.
Decision influenced by existing or past relationships with party members.
Kay manipulated the shit out of Grixie because he knew that he was sensitive about certain aspects
Okay.
of human life.
Grixie, did you make one in there? Wasn't already covered?
No.
Okay. Meaningfully changing or progressing character arc. Grixie for sure. How much did it change Kay's character arc? I guess it progressed it.
Yeah.
Okay. So another one, Wilavor?
I don't think so.
Yeah, it didn't super seem like it.
I mean, just got more like indifferent to people, but
Yeah.
that's I don't think it was significant enough.
Okay. And then big moves you all get. Did it happen more than once?
I mean.
Affects the entirety of the roster of the Isles as a whole or an entire
Okay.
faction.
That's
That
a
did-
move,
Yeah.
Yeah, so you all get that. And did you do it more than once? I think it was really just kind of the one decision.
Yeah, just the one big one.
Okay. Okay.
See, I don't know if this actually fits in my background, but like trying to get them to break the treaty immediately after we sign.
Yeah, that's true. That could be background. You just
I don't
can't
know, like,
count
where
double
we put that.
background. That's fine.
Cool.
Okay.
Cool.
I think that concludes this mission.
Nice.
Yeah, so multiply that by your token XP value. And you all use your prep tokens?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Okay. I believe our next session will be on Friday. They're going to explore some Dwergar tunnels.
Yeah.
Ah, that's gonna be a good
It
one.
should be Wilavor, Throck, Inteus, and Kryn.
I believe sounds right, yeah.
Maybe Grixie.
We'll put it on Twitter.
I
TBA.
kind of want to keep it
If you
four,
thought
but-
this mission was emotionally harrowing and you never want to come back, you should, because they're just gonna be beating some shit up on Friday. It's gonna be great.
It's gonna be great.
Yeah, I think that concludes this mission, though. Dom, I'm going to make you turn it off while I monologue to the camera.
Okay.
Viewers, this was an emotionally harrowing session, as you were told by hundreds of
Not for Kay,
orcs.
it wasn't.
Just for the players.
Kay was fine.
Thank you for watching. We will see you in the next time. We love you all. If you want to sponsor us, come let us know. Dom, I'm going to keep talking until you turn this off. So, we want to sponsor. We want viewers. We want your money. We want your time. We want
Money.
your love. We want your
Money's a
affection.
big one.
Money. We're still got to pay back for all this fucking equipment.
Yeah.